good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and early, 8 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, after my first video, I started thinking, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about what's going on in Washington, D.C. and the rest of the country, the other capitals, the state capitals. Today, J6, I hope I could say that. Okay, some interesting things to note. Honestly, it doesn't sound like a whole lot of people are going to show up for this. Okay, and let's just talk about that briefly. The word is amongst the right, the conspiracy-minded, is that it's a false flag. It's a honeypot. It's there to lure these people in and to goad them into acts that would get various acts of aggression that might get them arrested. It's a honeypot. It's a false flag. All right. And then now there's word that it's a false flag of a false flag. That it's actually the first people saying that this is a trap, a honeypot. Those are people that are just trying to make it seem that the right should stay home and that they don't have an opportunity to change things or protest. So now it's a false flag of a false flag. You can't make this stuff up, man. All right, Donald Trump, former president, he's still speaking highly of these people, and I want to talk about the people that showed up on that day back in January. I want to talk about that. He's still speaking glowingly of these patriots, as he calls them. I have other words to describe them, but and he said that this J6 event is just to make him look bad. So you know what? This is one of the things that I actually agree that it really doesn't have any opportunity except to make him look bad. I can't picture anybody gathering there today and behaving in a manner that is respectable and upstanding. So I think Trump is just basically hedging his bets that people will act badly, and he doesn't want to be seen as having a part in it. But at the same time, he's saying that they're all great people and great patriots. So he's trying to have the best of both worlds, basically. So if you're confused, so am I. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about that day. I thought of the saying that time heals all old wounds, except I thought about time covers up facts. Time distorts the truth. Time is used to create an altered history, as we all know that Trump is famous for. But let me describe what I'm talking about. Okay, remember that day back then. Remember the very next day, I sat down with people in my family and people around me that are supporters of the last president, ardent supporters, and everybody was shocked, disgusted, repulsed. Remember, and seeing these people, to me, they look like ants, just climbing up the sides of the Capitol. Where was the Capitol, right? Yeah. Climbing up the Capitol, it just reminded me of a horde of ants climbing all up the front of that. And all around the world, people were just shocked and amazed that this is what the United States had sunk into. Even Republicans were so disgusted by what happened today. They tried to blame it. They tried to blame it on other people, that they were set up, and then famously saying that it was just a few. The majority weren't participating in that. I want to talk about that more in a second. So it was just like basically they're saying the few in the front that were running up the steps and entering the doors, the windows, those were the bad people. But the majority were all law-abiding, just acting like tourists. Remember hearing that description? All right, you know what came to mind too? A lot of those people, the acts of destruction, the acts of vandalism, because they're taxpayers, because that's their house. Remember the computers being stolen, because they bought them. And I started thinking about the logic to that. What if I were to go to the Grand Canyon, a national park or something, or the Sequoia National Park, and I say I got a chainsaw and worked at trying to take down a giant redwood or a giant sequoia, because hey, my tax dollars paid for it. So you see where I'm going with this? That's not how this works. Just because you paid what, $600, $1,000, $2,000 last year in income taxes does not make everything yours. Does not make the capital yours. Does not make everybody work for you personally. It's not how it works. All right, now I want to talk about, what? I don't even know her name, and I don't even respect her or care enough to Google it, to look it up. Ashlyn Babbitt. Seriously, I thought about that. It's like, should I look it up? Nah, I don't care. I don't care enough, because to me, she was just another vandal, another trespasser. Okay, let's go back now, talking about those few bad people that were up in the front. We all saw the videos of, there were a bunch of men that broke their way through the window, the doors. We all saw the officers on the other side. Now, this was the last resort. This was the last barricade keeping this mob that broke through everything else from getting to the actual lawmakers. And the security, they are hired to defend it, which they were. And what do these guys do? I thought about this. I've never talked about it, though. These big, tough Republican conservative guys break through that window. This is our house. We're coming to take our house back. And then what do? They pick the smallest woman to actually take the biggest risk and push her through the window. And I'm sure they're going to say, well, it's because she fit. I don't know. That's kind of, that's weak. That's really weak. To pick the smallest female in the bunch and just shove her through the window. All right, so we all saw, she was warned. She was, for crying out loud, she was crawling through a broken window that was barricaded, the last defense. What did you think was going to happen? Let's skip back to how the people that defended this were saying, well, it was just a few people committing these acts. The majority of them were just people, supporting the former president and in their opinion of the election. Okay, well, if that's the case, what was Ashlyn Babbitt then? Because she was right up in front. She was going through those windows, smashing those windows. Was she one of the bad ones? Because now she's being portrayed as a saint. She was just somebody going, like, taking it to, just voicing her opinion. Well, you can't have it both ways, You can't say that some of the people were bad. The people that were committing these acts were the rowdy bad ones, and then try to defend this woman that they pushed through the window into her demise. All right, those are my thoughts today. False flag of a false flag. This is one more thing I thought about too. If there's going to be any activity today, I get this gut feeling that it would be a lot more likely in the state capitals, because there's going to be gatherings at the state capitals today too. I can't remember the list. There was a list of about 10 or 15 at least. Connecticut wasn't included, but I'm willing to bet that there's going to be people showing up at almost every capital across the country today. And my guess is that the people that are supporting this, that they're not going to be able to stay quiet. They're not going to be able to stay quiet. They probably won't go to Washington, but they probably will go to the state capitals. That's my guess. It's not something I'm looking forward to or wishing on, but that's what I got a gut feeling. All right, we'll see. You guys have a great Saturday. I'll be back later with another video.